Hello my friends, welcome to the ThePCelitist, a channel dedicated to video game commentary and discussion, always from the PC perspective, the greatest way in which to play games. My name is Woodsie.
My name is Shepherd.
It's the greatest platform on which to play games.
Just want you to know that while he said that, he was creepily rubbing his new super tower.
And the title of this video is Consolization is Dying. It won't die. It will never die. But it is dying.
Is it like Princess Bride, mostly dead, not all dead?
It's not. It's mostly dead.
Mostly
it will be
dead.
mostly dead. In fact, I think we're gonna go through some evolutions where you're gonna have where it was in the golden age of PC. It's gonna resemble that more, where you had console, and then you just had PC, and we didn't fight or talk to each other much. It was just like, oh, there's those console games, and here's the PC games. And most PC guys probably had a console because there was console-like games that they liked to play. And then there was PC games. And it filled both of those, needs to a person.
And I'm a perfect case study of that because I had a console solely for sports games. And cool boarders too.
Right. Right. Well, I was a Nintendo kid growing up. So I still liked my Nintendo games. But I knew that where my heart really was in PC games. But I always liked to get the latest Mario game here and there when I was a kid.
What if they had made GoldenEye for the PC?
Oh, it would have been amazing. I did love GoldenEye.
You'd still be playing it.
I did love GoldenEye. But I think that we're going to return to that a little bit. Because basically, PC guys only had an issue when we started sharing applications. And I think we're going to kind of get away from the pack here as PCs evolve and as basically the way you buy games evolve, and that has a lot to do with where the industry moves, because you have to take into account the atmosphere of like 5 years ago. If you released a PC game, it was pirated to no end. Okay?
And we saw that happen to our golden child, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
We saw...
Right?
How many copies did Crisis 1 sell?
Oh, I don't remember the numbers.
But just as a matter of proportion, 100,000 copies. How many people were playing it online?
Oh, 1 million?
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Something didn't line up there.
There was a lot of issues.
And what did developers do after that?
They said, F this whole PC thing, and they went to console. But now there's this really cool thing called the internet. And bandwidth.
Thanks, Al Gore.
And now Steam is here, and now everyone's kind of following their business model because they have been so successful. And as before, you thought the industry was, you want to actually sell a game, it has to go to console because it's just going to get pirated. But Steam is proving, hey, if you provide a convenient way
and safe
and a safe and excellent way to get games, people will buy them. So that's what happened. And that's what's happening. And now you have all these platforms existing online. And Origin is here, and Steam is here, and Good Old Game is here, and Gamersgate, and all these things are here. And what that means for consoles is that developers are going to have more choice. It's going to tell them that, you know what, to get out to the people, we don't really need you as much as we thought we did. And now we could just release to PC. And it has all these great advantages when releasing to PC.
Because when distributors compete, you win.
Right. I mean, they really want developers to be on their platform. If you only have 2 major platforms running a game, they have a lot of power. But if everything's kind of online, you have 6, 7, 8 platforms. You have to also remember that Apple Apps is a platform now. I mean, they're competing more with, they just want applications, and you make it. So they have less say in like what goes in the game and that kind of thing. And I think once you give developers more power, I think a lot of developers want to produce on this high-end complexity, and really push the limits of what games can do. Not necessarily in graphics, but in virtual reality, immersion type of things.
Like this new A10 DCS Warthog, whatever it's called.
Right. If you look at that game, and I bid all of you, go just YouTube one video of this game. Or look at the trailer on Steam.
It's on Steam. It's A10 DCS Warthog, something like that.
Something like that, yeah. And the level of detail is amazing. And they released a PC only, obviously, because no other system would be able to run this thing, right? And one might think, well, standard, tradition is that you can't sell a game and make your money back on PC. But apparently these guys are doing it, and that seems to be the trend right now.
Yeah, and the point is they're not spending as much money getting the game out there as they used to.
Right.
And that's because we have more platforms that are taking a smaller cut, I think is the biggest thing that you... To me, the biggest thing you fleshed out in this theory was it's about not just competition among developers, but they have a way, or distributors. They have a way to do it cheaper.
Right. It's going to be cheaper, so the developers like the online thing because they keep more of their money. And what this means for something like a platform like PlayStation is that their business model is they make all their money on royalties. Okay? And they are going to... What they did for the PlayStation 3 was they made a high-end piece of hardware.
At the time.
For the time, yeah. 6 years ago. And they sold it to you at a discounted price. They were actually losing money every time they sold one. Okay? Because they thought all the applications, we're going to be making money off of all those. We just need to get it into as many houses as possible.
Much like a drug dealer, first time's always free.
Right. Right. And they have all the power. They're holding all the chips. You want to get out there, you need to go through us. But that's not necessarily the truth anymore. So it's less beneficial for them, I think, looking at the industry, to release another high-end console to try to capture that player.
And constantly play catch-up technologically with the PC.
Right. Because they want their thing to last, they want it to last 10 years. I think when the PlayStation 3 came out, their estimate was, we want this to be a 10-year console. Mm-hmm. Which, it's been 6, and now what? Battlefield 3 is strongly PC styled, and it just barely fits on the console.
Had to be dumbed down.
Right.
And even more so for the 360.
Yeah, and now you have developers who are like, well, you know what? We don't even want to deal with the consoles. It's too limited. We're just going to make a PC game. And the more that happens, PlayStation might think, you know what? We're going to kind of follow the Nintendo business model and make a weaker platform, go into this more casual style gaming, which it seems to make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And if you guys remember, Sony actually wants to make money. They're not really... That's their biggest goal, is to make a platform to make money.
And we don't hold that against them. They're a major corporation. They're beholden to stockholders. That's what they do.
Right.
It's their function.
Right.
It just happens to suck for PC gaming.
Yeah. So I think there's going to be... like I said before, we're going to run away from the pack here. And yes, there will be consoleized games. PlayStation will always make deals with developers and say, look, we're going to help you make this game, but we need it on our platform, and they want to make it for PC as well. So you're going to get consoleized versions all the time, but I think you're going to find more developers who are finding a market on PC and just developing for them. And we're going to get that kind of feeling back of that golden age of just really unique games coming out, because you don't have to present it to a corporation and
you don't have to pitch it. Yeah,
you don't pitch it and go, please take my game, and they go,
give us $20 million to make a 6-hour game.
How is it like Call of Duty? How is it like Angry Birds? Prove it's like one of those.
Yeah, see, I have my MBA, and this formula tells me that X plus Y equals Z. You don't have X and Y, buddy. Get out.
Exactly.
But we have the 27th letter, and it's called Magica.
Yeah, and if you notice, consoles, this is off subject, but consoles will take things that are popular on PC. People come here and go, everything that PC has is because of consoles. No, what? That's not true, because every time there's a hit on PC, it eventually gets converted to console. Generally, not the other way around. I mean, I'm not going to say there's no good games on consoles, because that's not true. There are good games on consoles.
Yes, there's one.
What's that?
I don't want to say it.
Okay.
FIFA.
That's PC too.
I know, but it's better on console.
On the controller.
Yes.
I might give you that.
True.
But don't say consoles.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding.
It's better on the other thing.
So that's my theory. That's how I see the industry at the moment. If you guys have you want to say something?
I would like to weigh in.
Okay, go ahead.
If I could. I think that theory is absolutely scrum-trelescent. The two things that stick out most to me, I think it's well thought out, and I think you raise a lot of good points. But I have two pieces of agreement and one kind of counter-argument that I'd like to get your thoughts on. And I'll be real quick about it. The two things I really like is, in terms of how easy it is for PC developers to come back to making for the PC. One is on the distribution end. Do I want to make 2 million hard copies of a game and maybe watch as many as half of them sit on the shelves of Best Buy for a few months until they go to the bargain bin? Or do I want to create a digital download and just see how it works?
Right.
That choice is easier for me. The other thing I really like is, and this is maybe an assumption, maybe a generalization, it may be just based off my observation. I want to make a game for a group of gamers who are older, more sophisticated, more loyal, and tend to not en masse bitch and moan all the time on the forums. Console forums, whenever I look at them, it's all a bunch of, and I have to say, horrible grammar. Go back to school, you 13-year-olds.
That don't know anything
They
about.
complain about the stupidest things and they don't get certain things. And that happens in PC forums, to be sure. But I've never seen the level of debate that I've seen on PC forums. So those are two things I really agree with you on. The question
Can I just
Sure.
interject something
Sure.
real quick? The ignorance of some console gamers will never cease to not astound me, because I saw a guy who was claiming that Battlefield 3 should be just the same on consoles. He didn't understand why it couldn't support 64 players, and his argument was they would just need to release it on 2 discs instead.
I know. A Camry should be just as good as a Maserati. Just give me 2 engines.
Anyway, continue with your last point.
Here's my kind of counter argument. I just want to, I'll say it quickly and, quickly give your answer. You're saying that more options that developers have going to the direct download form of selling games, that'll help PC gamers. But isn't it also true that, and they're already starting to do this, PlayStation and the Xbox, they're developing their own online platforms and online networks where you can buy games and download them directly to your hard drive, albeit a much smaller hard drive on a console. I see what you're saying, but isn't it also true that those consoles could just say, okay, you guys have Steam, we're going to put a lot of our games for digital download as well. But
Right.
So you're conceding that, but you think that there will be an overall net of flow back towards PC-only games. Is that right?
I'm kind of a little bit taking into account that developers are the creative end of this industry, obviously. Okay?
Not
And-
MBAs?
Not MBAs, no.
Okay, someone should do a video about that.
They should. They
should.
should. We'll link one if we find it below. But they're the creative guys, and creative guys like to branch out and do things their way and really create something new. And if they can't find the market somewhere, they're going to do it where they feel they can. And Steam and these other download sites and provide a way for them to actually make money on their product. It's really discouraging to make a game like Crysis and release it for PC and go, look guys, we made this, it's PC only in an age of consoles, and it does all these amazing things, and then it just gets pirated out the door.
It must be especially frustrating because you see it's getting 10s across the board. People love this game, but somehow they're just not willing to pay for it. And that is a major black mark on the PC gaming community.
Right.
All you blankety blank blanks who turned PC developers away.
Right.
Go to hell.
So I think, like I said, it's not going to be exactly like it was, where it's just there's PC and then there's console. You're going to get the consoleized games, but I think you're going to have this other group, these PC guys, who have, like many of you who are listening, who they love their PC and they want to make games for it. And finally, there's a good way to make money in this industry on that platform. That's what I think is going to happen.
Excellent.
I would love to hear everyone's reaction to this, and please comment.
A lot of meat in this discussion, but I also am very interested to see what you guys think.
Yeah, there's a lot of sides to the industry,
Yeah.
so it's hard to go on come from each direction on a discussion.
Yeah, but to me, whatever you say is gospel. So if you say it, it'll happen.
So please comment below. If you just think I'm right, just thumbs it up. If you think I'm wrong, thumbs it up too. That means you listen.
Stick it to him by thumbing it up anyway.
Thummies.
Thummies.
And yeah, for the PC Elitist, my name is Woodsie.
My name is Shepherd, and we're signing out.